Walking into the Oregon Logging Conference felt a little bit like a kid walking into a candy store. Instead of sweet candy, we got to see some sweet machines. We'll start out with a quick swing by the Wood Miser booth. I already know all the mills here are better than the one I have. I better not spend too much time looking at these. They might talk me into buying one. I better step away from the LT40 so I don't buy it. The guys at Hudson Sawmills were all pretty busy. Makes me feel like I'm watching a Two Brothers Outdoors video. Timberwolf has some really nice looking firewood processors. Some of them even load up the wood for you after they process it for you. Ken from Timberwolf flagged me down, said he watches the channel. They have that going for them. This is what I need on the tractor. Instead of picking it up with the forks, this will grab the logs and I can move them around that way. There's a grapple, these are like jaws that will grab the log. Then this will lift them up off the ground. This has a quick attach where the tractor will come up here, it'll pick it up, it'll clamp in. Except that's not going to work on my old 50-year-old tractor. So I need a new tractor. Let's go find a tractor. There's this one. Well, hello.
We watch your YouTube video.
I was starting to wonder about that.
Yeah, the kids recognize you right away.
Yeah. Hello, Mr. Wilson. That's taken on a no meaning now.
It's his birthday today.
Well, happy birthday. How old are you?
7.
Good. Are they bringing you to the logging show for your birthday?
Yeah.
I think this was the highlight of the show. Thank you to everyone who came up and said hello, who recognized me from the channel. Getting to meet and talk to some of the viewers, that was a lot of fun. This is a nice tractor. Not good enough. Maybe this one would be better. What about this one? It's got my name on it. Now we're talking. I think this means it's my machine. Can I take it home? Or maybe this is what I need. Or maybe this is what I need. They tell me I need chains on my tractor. If I had this one, I wouldn't have to clean up my slash. It would just run over it and chew it up. All in the comfort of my heated and air-conditioned cab. Or maybe this is what I need. Now we're talking. It even has Medford forks on it. Anybody who has a front-end log loader knows you have to have Medford forks. It's just the way it is. Actually, I think I'd rather have this one. It's a little bit smaller, more practical, and I'm just partial to cat. And you might still be able to pick one of these up for under $1 million, especially if you go used. It's a delimber. It takes the limbs off the log rolls through it, takes the limbs off, and then this chainsaw cuts it to length. You put it on a machine like that. Stump grinder. I think that's what it is.
This is our sawmill, so this has been a 3-year process of getting back to manufacturing this mill. This is the Mobile Dimension 128 circular sawmill, so it will cut up to a 12 by 8. So that's a 12 by 8 beam there running the span of the 20 foot, and those are 8 by 8 posts in the corners and 4 by gussets corner supports.
This would be great for making big beams out of big logs.
Yeah, big beams.
What's the maximum diameter this will cut?
You're talking about a 4-foot log you could cut on a machine like this. So this is a trailer setup, so because it's on a trailer, it has to go down the road, so you're limited by DOT standard. So we have a ground setup that's 10 feet, and you could do a 6-foot log back home. So it's a very, very capable saw, and they've been around since the mid-60s.
And this has the multiple blades on it. Is it 2 blades?
Yeah, so you can either run it in the 2-edger setup, or you can have a larger, bigger blade. So with the smaller blade, you can get 2 2x4s out of it. But with the larger blade, then you can get your 12 by 8. You can cut 8 inches in the horizontal.
I have a Wood Miser LT15. I'm getting a little bit of sawmill envy here.
Yeah, no. And the bandsaw and the mobile, like, they work well together because you can cut your cants with a circular saw, and then you can take your bandsaw and then resaw your cant, so you're cutting cleaner wood. Because with a bandsaw, sometimes the issue is like you're working with a band and it gets dull. The nice thing about this saw is it's an insert tooth. So if you hit something or you need to sharpen it, you can pull the teeth and just stick it on your sharpener and sharpen the teeth right back up again.
And these winches, is that to roll the logs up?
Yeah, so we have these loading ramps. So we were PVing the logs up here. You bring your winch down and under, and then hook it on, and then you can winch the logs up. So it's a really neat mill. Like we bought one and tried to fix it, and the company wasn't in good state. So we're like, okay, like maybe we'll just try and build a sawmill. So
yeah,
this has been a long process, and we've got a sawmill now.
I'm interested in this because my dad had a Mighty Mite when I was a kid, and that was when I was too young to play with it.
Yeah, no, and Mighty Mite and Mobile Dimension, I'm not sure quite the right story, but they were kind of like, they split off from the same people. So Mighty Mite built the heavier saw, Mobile Dimension wanted to stay the mobile saw. So they kind of parted ways, but they were very, very similar saws. In fact, those circular blades, insert teeth. They started with a VW motor, and then Mighty Mite, I believe, went heavier and started to get into more of the diesels and more kind of larger production sawmill.
The circular pattern that it makes in the woods, a little different than the band mill.
That's what people want as well, like for that exposed wood look. People will pay a premium for that because people want that. So if you're in the business of cutting wood, then this saw is a good option because it gives you that product.
This would be a good solution for someone who has big logs, too big for the
mill.
For the mill,
yeah,
the band mill.
Yeah, the band mill.
So where can people find you?
So we are on the internet on www.mobiledimensionsaw.com, and we have all our parts and pieces there, and that's the best way to get in contact with us. If you need any assistance or help or questions about our saws, give us a call.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. The circle mill makes some really heavy-duty sawdust compared to the band mill. I would like to have seen this mill in action, but it was getting close to the end of the show. They were starting to put things away. These are beautiful.
Yep, that's a feather.
Do you make these?
Absolutely, yep. It's a feather pattern Damascus. It's made out of 1084 and 15N20 steel. Yep, it's layered pattern steel. And we spend the time to make the billet, and then ultimately forge it into the axe and finish it in an acid etch to reveal the pattern.
How long have you been making these?
About 7 years. Started about 7 years ago, yep. My friend Jack and I, we work together, share a shop space. He pretty much sticks to making the knives and that, and I just stick to making axes.
300.
That's beautiful.
This comes off, that's another feather type pattern. And I don't know if anyone else has ever made a feather pattern axe. That was one of my challenges, as I said to myself. I did some research and tried to figure out if anybody else had ever made one. And
that's where you have this spine and everything's coming off the spine?
Yep. It's actually a wedge. When I have the billet completed to size, one of the last steps is to drive a wedge directly through the center of the billet, and it pulls all those layers into that direction, and then you forge weld the billet back together right where that split happened.
Yeah. If they wanted to find you, where would someone go?
Yeah, in Newburgh, Oregon.
And your name is?
My name is Tony Ondracek.
All right. I didn't get as much video footage as I could have because I got busy talking to people. But that was the most fun part. It was getting to be the end of the show. People were wrapping up, putting things away. I think there were more demonstrations and more things going on before we got there and the day before. That's it for the Oregon Logging Conference. If you get a chance to go next year, I hope to see you there.